must be sleeping under a rock or something.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Devin Alexander back in the house with the Slave to Wrestling podcast. I know we've been kind of flooding the airwaves with a little bit of content. We just did the Terry Funk Memorial episode. We're not going to get too sad here. We've done enough sad shit the last couple of days. But we are going to talk about the Memorial show from Smackdown and some of the matches from Smackdown. And then we're going to get into Rampage. We're going to talk about All In and the fight that CM Punk had backstage. So we're going to get into all the little juicy gossip and stuff. I'm here with my homie Ryan Reigns, the Tribal Chief. You know what I'm saying? What's up, dog?
What up, brother? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's late. We had to get out here late because I got kids and I fell asleep. So you know how that goes.
Don't even trip, man. I understand exactly. So let's get right into it with how Slave to Wrestling likes to get into it. We'll jump right into SmackDown and how I thought the beginning of SmackDown was amazing with everybody standing out there. They had Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman and Terry Funk up there with Bray Wyatt. They did the 10-bell salute and how they focused in on the rocking chair at the very end was, wow, it was really emotional. You know what I mean?
It was. WWE has a beautiful way of pulling at your fucking heartstrings when it comes to stuff like that. Especially when Eddie Guerrero passed, that was a tough one. It's been a while since we had someone pass away at a young age, but you know, like, it was still a celebration of wrestling, and that's usually my favorite part, is that we get an opportunity to celebrate wrestling, even though it's sad at the moment, but it's all good. It is. It's all good, and
yeah, it was very beautiful what they did. I thought it was. Throughout the show, it was just a great tribute all the way around. The first match that they had was Rey Mysterio versus Grayson Waller. I guess next Saturday for Payback, I guess they're going to have Cody Rhodes with him on Grayson Waller effect. So we'll see how that ends up. I don't think it'll end up very well for Grayson Waller myself, but the match itself was good. There's some decent spots. Of course, Ray hit the 619 on him.
619?
Obviously, we knew Austin Theory came out. He's obviously jealous of losing the United States title to him. But, the LWO showed up, laid him down, and Ray beat Grayson Waller with the 1-2-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went into a nice vignette again of Bray Wyatt before they went into a commercial match. That vignette was also, every vignette that they had, was just a great vignette. They pretty much shows you the progression of Bray Wyatt from when he was with Cody to when they started the Wyatt family to where he was wrestling with Matt Hardy, to where, he became The Fiend and he was with Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton and, all that great stuff. I thought it was just a whole entire vignette of the progression throughout the show is how they showed that, and I thought that was really nice. What did you think about the Ray and Grayson Waller match?
It was a pretty decent match to open up the show. Something for the crowd to get into, and then Austin Theory interfering with the LWO coming in for the save was pretty standard fare, I feel like, but I still enjoyed it. Like I said, every time I watch, I tend to mark out, and I can't help it.
I agree 1,000%.
I enjoyed the Io Sky and Selena Vega match for the WWE Women's Championship. I'm a big fan of Selena Vega. Started really paying attention to her around Backlash. She had a great match there. I think her in-ring work is awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff from her. What did you think of that women's match?
Oh, I thought that women's match was really good. It showed Io Sky is really talented in the ring all the way around. The way that she can sell, her top rope acrobatics is amazing. I like Selena Vega, I do, but at the same time, I'm kind of wondering what's going on with the women's division, just because Selena Vega is going for the title, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything like that, but what I mean is Bianca hurt? I know, like we've said before, Charlotte made her 2-3 appearances before WrestleMania, so she probably won't be back until WrestleMania now. And then Asuka, I wonder if she's hurt also, but I don't know. We'll let WWE do their storytelling. We know how they do everything usually and how they lay everything out. But I thought it was a really good match all the way around. I was glad Io retained the title. Then again, another vignette to the commercial. Then we went into Cody Rhodes's, tribute to Terry Funk. And that was just a great tribute all the way around. The video that they showed of him when he was wrestling with Dory, Funk Jr., his brother, all the way to going to Chainsaw Charlie, I thought it was just a great vignette all the way around of him to honor, the hardcore god. And what did you think about the speech and how they portrayed Terry Funk? Because we're going to get into that match next that happened, but before that, we'll talk about the vignette that they had. I thought it was just a nice vignette of his early career to his late career all the way through.
Well, Cody Rhodes really knows how to put his words together anyway, so anytime, that they give Cody a live mic to honor somebody, my ears are going to perk up. It was wonderful how he worded things and put things together for us and painted that picture and paid tribute to, what I said earlier, one of those figureheads of the business that we're losing again. And it really was a bookend on things, but that was great. But that Street Profits match with the Brawling Brutes, bro.
Such high hopes for that.
I did.
Said it was a Terry Funk hardcore match. I know all the fans were thinking, back when he was in the WWF, he was still a crazy fucker. You know what I mean? Like he really was. And for that to be the match and the people they put in it was perfect for it.
Yeah, the people are great.
And Street Profits. Come on, that's two perfect tag teams.
If we're gonna do hardcore, let's do hardcore all the way, and let's not halfway do it, bro. And I just really felt like, Vince Russo.
You thought that was halfway? You thought that was halfway?
I mean, that was like an eighth of the way at best, but
Exactly, because come on, bro. You literally got 2 into the chairs, 1 into the barricade, and 1 table shot.
That shit was
literally.
Great. That shit was
and
ass. It was ass.
That match deserved an F for being a hardcore match.
I was disappointed. I was so let down.
I would have been happy with 1 kendo stick shot. I would have been happy with 1 extra one.
I was so let down.
Come on now.
I mean, you say hardcore to me, like, I'm spoiled. I watch stuff like Slaves of the Death Match. I'm a Nick Gage fan, you feel me? So, you say hardcore to me, I'm expecting at least something. Maybe somebody, something, like...
Well, I'm expecting color for sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and if you
bro.
guys don't know what color is, that's a lingo for, getting a little bloody. That's getting colored. So, I'm
expecting something I could mark out about, but, I was really not able to mark out about anything on that match. So I was kind of like...
Yeah, no, that match was definitely an F.
We get them titties 4 thumbs down. The milk's gone bad.
Yes, exactly. let's go into the LA Knight promo. I thought he cut a great promo before he got into the Miz. They had that little vignette with the Miz on TMZ, saying that he's a nobody. Pretty much, he's a flavor of the day. You know what I mean? But he went in first before LA Knight addressed Miz. He talked about Bray Wyatt, his character, obviously, and how that was what really set him off. And at least he acknowledged it. That was the biggest thing. He acknowledged it, and some people thought it was cheesy, because I did have some people tell me they thought it was cheesy. But I liked it when he said, well, great man, Miz, a great man once told me, run. And I thought that was great. I liked it myself.
I actually got
it, but I actually liked it.
I went back and watched it twice. I guess I'm partial. I really do have a thing for LA Knight. I think he's awesome. I really feel like WWE needs to pull the trigger on him sooner than later. You know, like Roman's reign is great, but at this point, I feel like there's other talent on the roster that hasn't had the opportunity to be properly showcased as they should, because they've suffered in the era of the bloodline, and we'll get back into that on another show. We can talk about that at length. So
we'll get in depth on that storyline. We'll go from all the way to the beginning to the end of the storyline, and have some predictions for what we think is going to happen, even at maybe this year's WrestleMania. So stay in tune for that. And then we got Finn Balor versus LA Knight. Finn Balor came out. I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was the coup de grace that he gave LA Knight was a perfect shot, and he got the 2 count on it. But I thought it was a great spot. LA Knight getting everybody excited, you know how he does, getting that crowd saying L.A. Knight, doing all that great stuff. And I was surprised that to be honest with you, the biggest surprise to me was that the Judgment Day didn't come out and try to back up Finn Balor. That was the surprising part. And LA Knight ended up winning the match, the 1, 2, 3. I thought the show was amazing just because of how they tributed Wyndham Rotunda. I thought it was just amazing the way they did that in general. What was your overthought of the show? The biggest low, obviously, we both know, was the hardcore match. So
that was ass.
We'll skip that. We already know what the bad is. What was besides the tribute for Bray Wyatt and the very beginning with the rocking chair being spotlighted, what was your favorite part of Smackdown? I would have to say mine was definitely Cody Rhodes' speech about Terry Funk.
Yeah, that was a really awesome point for me, but the LA Knight match was definitely it for me. Like I said, I'm partial to LA Knight right now. So anything that he's doing, I'm automatically tuned into. Definitely had a great time watching that show. It was a tear-jerker of a show. Really enjoyed it. I'm glad that they put it together and that they were able to pay tribute to both superstars. And, kind of bookend things. I'm looking forward to see what else WWE does with Bray Wyatt coming up. I know that there are more tributes that are going to be in place, so we'll see how those things form here in the next few weeks.
And that was Smackdown, everybody. So let's jump into Rampage. That was going on at 8 o'clock, from 7 to 8 o'clock my time, so I'm not going to lie. Watched the rest of Smackdown. I rewatched Rampage after it was recorded on the DVR. The opening was great. They had a picture of Wyndham Rotunda, a memorial photo. The first match, once again, I'm sorry guys, Orange Cassidy.
I love Orange Cassidy, bro.
No, it wasn't even Orange Cassidy this time. It's the lady from QT. I understand that her gimmick is supposed to be annoying, and she plays it perfect. That's just what I'm going to say about that. So
sad.
So it was pretty much the same stuff that we always go through with Orange Cassidy. Usually his matches, putting the hands in the pockets, doing the drop kicks, the spin around DDT. I liked it when, though, the girl from QT TV, I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. I liked it when she slid in the ring and she went to go hit, Orange Cassidy in the head.
You talking about Harley Cameron, my guy? Yeah.
Yes, Harley. There we go, Harley. I knew your name. I just didn't. I was gonna say that, but I thought I would be wrong, so I'd rather call you the girl from QTV than call you the wrong name. But I loved it when she took the boot off and she went to go hit him, and the referee turned around and caught her, and she jumped with the boot in the hand, solo hit Cassidy in the head with it. Cassidy he only got a 2 count. Then, Cassidy came back with the orange punch, laid out him, and got the 1, 2, 3. That was just a quick overview of the match because, I'm not going to lie, guys, he does a lot of the same stuff in every single match. And I get your finisher. I understand that. But there's a lot of moves. I mean, there's a lot of moves in professional wrestling, okay? So you don't have to be doing the... I understand the Slim Dog Stunner because that is also one of his technically finishers with quotations above. You can't see my fingers. And I get that, but it's just like the same thing with the Young Bucks. Like, they could do a little bit more technical stuff and still do the flips and just make it a little bit more of a variety than just still sticking to the exact same script. Right. And that's what it seems like with Orange Cassidy, and that's just my overview of the match. What did you think of that match?
I enjoyed it, of course. I'm an Orange Cassidy fan anyway, so I'm gonna be somewhat partial to anything that he's doing. I'm one of those guys that likes people that other people don't like on purpose. So like.
Oh no, it's not that I don't like Orange Cassidy. I just know that he has a lot more potential than he shows, and it's not even the gimmick that I'm talking about.
Right.
I'm talking about the style of wrestling.
Right.
And that's what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense too, though. But
yeah.
So after the match, we get into the QT Marshall promo and the sit down with Jim Ross.
Yeah, talking about fucking QT, right?
Yeah. This is why I like watching AEW. Usually they highlight people that I normally wouldn't pay attention to. The AAA Latin American champion, and I have watched Ring of Honor in the past. I've always really watched mainstream wrestling, but like I said, in the last 4 years or so, I've gotten into independents, mostly local independents, because these local independents here in the Denver area are flipping amazing, and it gives you a whole new perspective on everything. So, but I really enjoyed the time that Jim Ross spent with QT Marshall. What do you think of the interview and then the match that came after with Gravity?
Oh, I like the interview, and I'm glad that QT has some gold around his waist. And what's what I was trying to say. I'm glad that he does have some gold on his waist. It doesn't matter from another company or not. I think he's, for a bigger guy, and I mean, he's a bigger guy. Like, we went to AEW Dynamite and seen him in the dark matches before, and he's not a little guy to be doing flips and things like that. He's not a little guy. So to see his athleticism up and close was really, he puts on a really good show. And I thought the match was great against Gravity. Gravity is he's just amazing as a luchador. I don't really like his mask. He kind of looks like a Power Ranger to me. I'm not going to lie about that.
He's like a Power Ranger. Which one is he, Tommy? Rest in peace, good Lord.
No, he's definitely not Tommy, because that outfit is just crazy with it. But yeah, no, like, I love Gravity's work in the ring, his luchador work, but QT ended up winning the match, and he won it in actually a fashionable form, and it wasn't, he actually didn't have to cheat. So that's one thing that I actually did like about the match, because, that's what QT's known for. So that's what I think about. That's what I thought about the match, and I was happy that he won. And then they had the video from Dark Order, and this is my thing about Dark Order. And I'm sorry to say this, ever since Brody passed, it has not been the same. Okay?
No.
I watched AEW since the beginning, and when Brody was TNT champion and the way that Dark Order was going, Dark Order was going to be huge. And then we all know that he had his he had his unexpected passing also, rest in peace. And the Dark Order ever since then has just been falling apart, and they keep trying to come back and trying to come back and trying to come back. I like Johnny Silver. I like Johnny Silver, little Johnny Hungy. I like him. Alex is okay, but I like Johnny Hungy, and I like Evil. Oh, I will have to say that. I do like them a lot. They are great. Just, they work together really, really good. Then we jumped into the other Luchasaurus versus a jobber. Quick match, choke slam, 1, 2, 3. That's pretty much all I got to say about that.
It was pretty quick. It was just some local enhancement talent that he squashed. But, I kind of miss squash matches like that. Like, when we were kids watching WWE growing up, like, I remember when, the Ultimate Warrior was squashed, like, some dude who was already in the ring when the match started, and I used to get a huge kick out of that. So it's good to see, that exchange still taking place in this day and age, because I remember when it wasn't superstar versus superstar, you feel me? Like,
no, I agree 1,000% with that when they brought the local talent in just to get it, or they brought people in from Smoky Mountain Wrestling or ECW, yeah. And then they went into the video of, the match coming up with Adam Cole and MJF. We already knew about that. Then they had the card for Collision, 0 Hour, and All In. And then then the last match for the main event was Toni Storm and Saraya versus DMD, Britt Baker, and Hiroshita. I'll say this about that. It had a really good finish. I really liked the finish of the match. One thing that I've always noticed, and I think everybody does notice when you do watch the matches of the women's division in Raw, or you can watch the matches in AEW and then WWE in the women's division, and the crowd is way more into the women's matches in AEW than they are in WWE.
Because the matches are presented better, though. They just kind of are.
They are, but you have to be either Charlotte Flair, be Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Bayley. You know what I mean? You have to be one of them to actually get a crowd reaction in WWE that I've noticed more than anything.
Yeah. They should really use Dana Brooke, too, but they don't. And I'm a proponent for Dana Brooke. I don't think she gets the television time that she should get, and that's just my personal opinion.
Same, but they put her in NXT now. That's the reason why she was the 24/7 champion there for a while, because they didn't know what to do with her. Bad booking, like always, because they're always focused on they're only focused on 4 people majority of the time, if you know what I mean. It seems like in WWE, or at least in AEW, every female gets a chance. But that was Rampage. Overall, I thought it was so-so. I think the women's match was the best just because of the finish. The way that... well, let me remember here. I'm getting finishes mixed up now.
My goodness.
I'm pulling a corner.
Are you getting old?
So, what happened in that match was they sprayed Hiroshita in the eyes with the spray paint. She turned around and hit Britt Baker with the forearm, and 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed that.
That was the finish, and I thought that was the best part.
Indeed it was.
So then we go into Collision the night after, which Collision right off the bat, they start off with the segment that they couldn't do on Wednesday night because they don't have a managed time at all. Not one damn bit on Dynamite. They finally brought out with a burial, which I thought was hilarious. They actually had Paul Bearers bringing out the title for FTW.
Yeah.
And then he pulled out the sledgehammer, was going to slam it, and obviously Hook came out and was like, oh no, that's my daddy's title. And
yeah, pretty much. So. I was feeling that though, so.
That was pretty much what happened.
He said Wembley Sunday, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the typical wrestling, the typical shtick. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the match on 0 Hour, but obviously it really didn't lead to much. Let's just be honest with you. But I did like the table spot that they did have. The table spot that they should have had on Smackdown. That's what I wrote down in my notes. The table spot they should have had in Smackdown. That's what I wrote in my notes. Yes, okay, that had to be a good table spot. I don't remember it off the top of my head right now, but obviously that was a good table spot.
It was an awesome table spot, and that's what I'm saying. That's why we're over here talking smack about that one from Smackdown. It was being lame. That crap was lame.
Yeah, so at least, okay, so thank you for at least representing Terry Funk there, Jack Perry, and Hook.
Yay!
Yes. Hey, we can finally give somebody their flowers. But we'll get to the Flower Boys here in a little bit.
Oh my God!
The Flower Boys are.
Oh
that is
God.
The Young Bucks.
Oh.
We call them the Flower Boys just because they deserve their flowers. Remember that.
Oh, they're so.
But we'll get to that here in a minute. All right, guys. So. They go to the video. They keep showing MJF and Adam Cole. We already know it's going to be a big match. We know this already, guys. Like, they keep just shoving it down our throat. That's where I'm going to leave that at. First match. This made no fucking sense to me. No fucking sense. They had Orange Cassidy. And it had nothing to do with it had to do with the wrestlers in it, but they're doing the pay-per-view the next day. So why in the fuck would you? Yeah, that's just the what the fuck there. You had Orange Cassidy, Penta, Kingston. I love Penta's work, and that's what I have written in my notes. So we'll leave that there. Then we had the Butcher, the Blade, Kip Sabian, and why did they have 4? Oh, no. Okay, so no, I messed up. Okay, so there wasn't 4. It was Zero Miro, Orange Cassidy, and Kingston versus the Butcher, the Blade, and Sabian. It was a good match. I'll say that. It was a good match. Everything was kind of wild in the beginning, kind of like what the fuck is going on? Why are they just doing all this brawling shit? But they did show... Well, let's just get to the end of the match because it's usually the same stuff with everybody. We know this. Yeah, with the barricade shots when they have 5 or 6 people in the ring in AEW. I think that's one thing with AEW. I'll have to say that I'm noticing more and more, and I'm kind of getting annoyed with it. I'm not gonna lie with you. Is all the barricade shots all the time? There's at least 2 in every single match. And I'm like, what do you think about the barricade shot? Do you think it should be used 24/7, or do you think that it should be, used in just specific matches? Because technically that should be a disqualification, right?
And it should be. I mean, once upon a time it was, but I mean, we live in a post ECW era, so that's not really a DQ offense anymore. I don't mind it, but I guess if it becomes a crutch in a match, or if it becomes a thing, then it could be, things.
Exactly. It seems like they kind of use it as a crutch. I really did like.
Oh, that was your cat. I'm all over here like, what the fuck?
No, you're good. I got the cat walking around just yelling at me. So you guys get to meet another person that is part of STW. Well,
the cat doesn't like barricade spots either, so apparently. So.
What I thought was funny was that they had Kip take everybody's finishers, like he was Dominic, like he was Dom Dom.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
And then and then that was the finish of the match. So I did like that. Then they go to a commercial, and then they come back, and now it's another what the fuck. Like, why is the Pudding Twins in the ring with Orange Cassidy, Kingston, and Penta? Oh, okay, they're calling out the BPCC and Ortiz and Santana. You know, the Kentucky Boys is yelling all of their names out. And then that Trent Beretta grabs it, and I thought he had the stupidest freaking line in the world. He goes, "You destroyed my mom's van."
Yeah, you sons of bitches destroyed my mom's van. We'll make it quick at the stadium stampede. We're not coming to hug and have fun.
Well, and then the crowd feeds into the bullshit and starts chanting Sue, Sue.
They're gonna
Sue.
do it for Sue for.
Yeah, like. What the fuck was that about? That was the what the fuck? Like, why did you bring up the mom's van? Like, I get the mom's van part, okay? Like, I understand they just had to match with it and everything, but you really think that was really the most crucial part of of any of that?
That shit was hilarious. It was what the fuck for sure, but that shit was hilarious. And then, here comes fucking Mox on Tron and shit. Like,
no, you missed it. So he handed the mic off to Kingston.
Right.
And then Cassidy grabs the mic. So I'm like, okay, Orange Julius is going to talk now. Let's see if this guy can talk.
I'm dead.
I was interested. I was like, let's see if this guy can actually talk on the mic. And then they cut, and it's dumbass Moxley looking like a fucking construction worker, looking like he just got done drinking a six-pack.
Bro.
And it's the exact same stuff that Mox always says. Hey, you guys want to know why, Kingston, you want to know why we picked Ortiz and Santana? Because no one's going to be your friend. And you're going to blame everybody else and say it's not my fault. It's not my fault. That's exactly how we sounded. It's exactly how we did it.
Oh my
God. Exactly. Oh. And then Santana said, and I like Santana's promo skills. How he gets intense and then he gets loud, and then he gets a little intense and then he gets loud, and then what's his name? Cesaro. That's Cesaro no more.
Claudio, you effing weirdo.
Castagnoli. He comes up and he's talking about, everyone else he's going to blame everyone else for his faults because he's not going to, by the end of this, he is not going to have any friends,
Right.
And then Wheeler Useless is just standing back there with his cock eye looking at his nose like, yeah.
I'm dead.
And then that was pretty much that part of the whole entire promo. And then Kingston runs off to go see where he can find him. He starts yelling at the cameraman, where they at? He cuts a promo, and then he tells John to get away because he's gonna beat up everyone and beat up this and this and beat up this and that. And then they had a vignette of the Flower Boys and FTR. I really didn't care too much about any of that, so I kind of fast-forwarded through it because I didn't want to hear no douchebagginess about, hey, we brought you into this company. We used Tony Khan's book to bring you in this company. We didn't even pay you out of our own pockets.
Oh, this fool over talking smack. That's because
pretty much what they said.
I don't like them fools, but anyway, well, it's neither here nor there. I just don't like them. I can't help it. I try.
No, I just don't.
I try really hard. I just don't.
I just don't appreciate stuff like that, But then, so we got the second match, which is Dark Order, little Johnny Hungy and Alex versus Darius Martin and Action Andretti, which I thought was a spectacular match. There was a lot of good spots in there. Johnny Hungy showed off his little strength that he always does. They did their high-flying stuff. And then at the very end of the match, Silver does all of his chops and kicks. Martin gets back into control. And then, of course, Johnny Hungy comes in, starts whipping his ass, does the power bomb, and gets the 1-2-3 count.
I enjoyed the match. It was a good match.
I thought it was a really good match. Had some really good spots in it, especially the high flying parts.
It had some good action in it. I enjoyed it.
I liked it when, I think it was Andretti, he jumped up on the top rope, like he just jumped from the apron onto the top rope and then did the 450 splash. That takes some athleticism right there in general. And then they cut to the interview with Nick Wayne and Darby Allin, and AR Fox shows back up and apologizes to Nick Wayne, saying that he wants to be friends with him, and his dad died too, and he's sorry for what he did. Shakes his hand. Nick Wayne obviously just walks by it. Darby Allin grabs it and he goes, "I know you're sorry." Really didn't care about that either. Don't really care for that AR Fox too much. I mean, he's good in the ring, but everything else so far, it's hard to find a connection with the guy. Then we go to the Acclaim rap video about pretty much just calling out House of Black.
Right.
That's pretty much what it was, and saying that Daddy Ass is Badass Billy Gunn now and how they're going to whip their ass. And then we went to a commercial break.
Yeah.
And then they went to a vignette for the Women's Championship, highlighting every single woman, which I thought was good for that. And if you guys don't know who was in the match, we'll talk about it later on. It was Toni Storm, Saraya, Britt Baker, and Hiroshita. And then we had match 3, which was Big Bill and Ricky Stark versus a jobber. Obviously, it was a quick match. He got the choke slam and the 1-2-3, and then Ricky comes in because, he's obsessed with, I guess, spanking people with belts, like 70-year-old men.
Yeah. And he said next week he gonna get a bigger one, and then he went back to whooping that fool ass. That shit was hilarious.
Exactly. I'll have to say that was the best part of that match.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Barry Morales, so I actually am a fan of him, but he's still trying to cut his teeth in the mainstream, so he'll get there.
Yeah, at least he got on some quality TNT TV, that's for sure. I'll say that 1,000%.
I know that's right.
Then they went into the interview with Ruby Soho, and she just challenged Chris Statlander for the TBS title.
Jade Cargill, where are you?
Yeah, and she pretty much challenged her for next weekend's pay-per-view that they're having. 2 pay-per-views in 2 weekends. They're having it all out. Then they went to the match with Willow and the Twin Sisters. I call them the Twin Sisters because it's that Robin, Renegade, and I can't remember the other's name, one girl's name off of the top. The crowd loves Willow, and they're doing decent booking with Willow. And even when we went to go see, like I said, we went to go see Dynamite, and that she's really good in-ring worker, and the crowd loves her. The crowd loves clapping. They love cheering for her. She's a great babyface. She obviously pulled down the straps, body slammed Robin, and won the match and got the 1-2-3. It was a great match, and I just like what Willow's doing, and the crowd's behind her.
Yes, indeed. Yes, they are behind her. So, I enjoyed that match. It did have a really long commercial break in the middle of it, though, and I was like, oh my god, could you please hurry up? Like, it was so long.
Yes.
But,
I agree with you on that.
It was so long, but it was a really good match, and I enjoyed it. And then that's when we get into Chris Statlander's asked to answer the challenge. So, she said she wants to act like a child. She's going to get treated like one. That was pretty awesome. So.
Yeah, that was, I did, she has great promos at Chris Statlander. She knows how to talk. I do enjoy her promos, and she's just a beast in the ring. She looks like an Amazon. That's all I can say. She's polished. Like she can lay down some people in that ring.
Yeah. Still, yet again.
And then they went.
Jay Cargill, where are you?
And then we went into the match, and it seemed like there was this week, there seemed like there was a lot of jobber matches this week. You know, there was nothing against Zicky Dice. It was kind of funny. He wrestled Keith Lee. At the very beginning of the match, the announcers actually said, this guy he's probably been in more jails than he's been in promotions in his career in professional wrestling. So I've never really heard of the guy, but sounds like we might have to do an episode on somebody and find out what this guy actually did.
I know, right?
He's been in more jails than wrestling promotions. Yeah,
I know,
kind of
right?
crazy.
God, jeez.
But quick match, started off, them trying to knock each other down, and then Keith Lee just became dominant. I like how we went back to old Keith Lee with the goal. Like, he's always been glory, bask in my glory, but he went back to that look. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I really enjoyed that.
The video
hair,
with
the gray hair
LFI.
wasn't working for me. I'm gonna tell you that much. So.
Yeah, that video with LFI, that was intense with the Dragon and Preston beating the crap out of the kidnappers. That was really intense.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. Anytime there's a good video package, I get excited for it. So
I would have to say that's probably one of the better ones I've seen lately. Like, really be truthfully honest, that was one of the better ones lately.
Yeah.
And then we got Samoa Joe coming out, cutting great promos like he always does. He can't interfere. He said that he couldn't interfere in tonight's main event, or his title match might be stricken from the card. So he said, that's fine. I'll be commentating during the match. And then they showed all the card in for All In and 0 Hour. And then they went to the main event. And the main event, I don't know, once again, I don't know, it was kind of a what the fuck, but at the exact same time, they went to a commercial right away. Because they literally had Hook come in, and then this is what I mean by weird booking. They had Hook, Darby Allin, Sting, CM Punk. Okay, I can see Darby Allin, CM Punk, Sting. Get that. But why Hook? What has Hook really proved except for being Taz's son?
Yeah.
And having hair that he has to flip back every 10 seconds.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
And looking like a little goon. That's what he looks like in the face. You know what I mean? That's all he looks like.
I'm dead.
I'm just being honest. Like, it's nothing against him or anything. He just hasn't really had any matches where he deserves to be in a main event, even in an 8-man tag. Like, that's just my opinion, at least, though. But they went to commercial right away, and then they had Jay White, Luchasaurus, Brian Cage, and Swerve Strickland on the match.
Yeah.
Which, it started out nice, and it had a really nice build. It had a nice build to what was going on. Swerve in the corner, Jay tags in, CM Punk, him and CM Punk are still wrestling, standing there. Then he wanted him to tag Sting in, so when he went to go tag Sting in, Jay White jumped behind him and backstabbed CM Punk, which I thought was a great part.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jay White gets knocked into the corner, and Luchasaurus comes in, starts jacking up CM Punk. Then we cut to a commercial. Then it's back to Jay and CM Punk again, Jay White. Jay tags Swerve Strickland in. Swerve starts working on submission holds. Crowd's yelling CM Punk.
Yes, sir.
Punk still down. Then they get the hot tag to Hook.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Okay, so we got a legend in the ring. We have Sting there, okay?
Yeah.
And then we have Hook.
Yeah.
Who deserves the hot tag?
Yeah,
Sting
that's
or
what I
Hook?
felt like too. I was like, so they gave it to that guy.
But I know Sting is everyone said in the backstage area that Sting is a very great guy, very willing, very giving. So I could see him giving that spot to Hook to try to build him up a little bit and everything. So they had the hot tag. He started knocking everybody out. Then Hook, so Brian Cage stopped Hook from tagging somebody. I'm trying to get to the finish where everybody started jacking each other up.
Right.
So they got so they get Jay White's down. He hits an elbow drop. Swerve Strickland jumps on to CM Punk. It's the stomps. Swerve gets tossed by Hook. You know, that suplex Hook, that suplex that he does. Hook gets choke slammed by Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus gets the Scorpion Death Drop by Sting.
It was awesome.
Jay White comes in and cuts the knees of Sting. Jay White is hit by Darby Allin in the back gets hit in the back by Darby Allin, gets knocked out of the ring, and then Brian Cage just manhandles. He's just manhandling Darby Allin. Manhandling him.
He was whooping his ass.
He's just messing him up. He's throwing him around like a rag doll. And then they finally get the hot tag again. CM Punk comes in. He gets the GTS on Brian Cage. He gets the 1, 2, 3. Jay says, not Jay. Joe says, oh shit, he goes, nice, this is finished. He slides in the ring. Hook attacks. Jared Perry attacks Hook. Sting's beating up Swerve Strickland. There's fighting everywhere at the end of Collision. I thought it was a perfect ending to Collision. The worst part, obviously, to me, was the Young Bucks. The best part was, I'd have to say, even though I didn't know why Hook was in the match, it ended up being a really good match at the very end. I thought the main event was the best match, and the second best was probably Willow.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome match. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good way to close out the show right before the pay-per-view. It was a good go-home show, so I really enjoyed that. It was. I give the show, I guess I give it a A- overall. That's how much I enjoyed it. And it's a good way to lead into tonight's festivities, or this morning's festivities for us. So
this is true. I had to go back and rewatch 0 Hour because I woke up really late. I only caught literally the last 3 matches of All In, but I did read the reviews and I seen a whole bunch of highlights of each match, and at least I know who won each match. So when I rewatched 0 Hour, they're doing a good thing trying to be like WWE. I'm not gonna lie, doing the little hosting party, and I think having Mox's wife there, Renee, is really helping them out, set some stuff up like that. I felt bad for Hobbs and Miro for the contract signing for All Out because the venue was just barely people were just barely trickling in. They had like an hour and a half prior to the show starting. I think that they started a tag team match like 42 minutes till, maybe 45 minutes till. So why didn't they wait until like 50 minutes till to do the contract signing? But, it is what it is. Kind of felt bad for those guys that everybody was, still buying merchandise. How many times do American promotions really go to London? So everyone was getting that, getting hot dogs, fish and chips, I should say, and probably their pints.
I'm weak.
But then they went into, we already know that they were showing the card all night. We'll go over the card. I ain't really worried about talking about what they did every single segment of the pre-show for 0 Hour. The tag team match with Aussie Open against, obviously, I'm Better Than You, baby. I thought it was a great match, the way they put it together. The kangaroo kick, though, bro. The kangaroo kick. That was legit. Like, I was wondering if he was going to, do it, kind of a goofy style. It looked goofy at first, but that looked like a legit kick. You know what I mean? It looked legit. It didn't look like some comedy stuff. Like the only comedy part was going with the hands. You know what I mean?
Indeed, ain't that the damn truth?
Oh yeah, it was just a good match all the way around. They hit him with the double clothesline and got the 1-2-3. I was very happy that they won the ROH Tag Team Championships. It's gonna add to the storyline for sure. Add to the storyline and give ROH some more publicity, which they deserve. Which I don't know. I've seen online, and people have been talking online is what I'm trying to say about they should maybe put ROH on for an hour on Friday nights instead of doing Rampage.
They should. I feel like they should give the time to, because it'll give me the opportunity to watch Ring of Honor, like I said, too. It's a show that I've only really watched through internet clips over the years, so being able to watch it live on TV, I think, would really be awesome for the brand.
Well, yeah, and everybody tells me they have an app for it, but come on, people, we have how many apps for everything these days? And I mean, we pay for everything already, and it's like this. I didn't pay for the WWE network when it was out back then, before it was on the Bird, but prior, and that just means I'm not going to do ROH, guys. I'm sorry. I will not pay $10 a month just to watch ROH wrestling.
Right, because I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm a busy guy, my friends. I got a lot.
Exactly.
It's so hard to keep up with everything.
I'm just glad it brought some publicity to the company, especially with MJF. I mean, he's probably the biggest one in AEW. We know this. The Devil. I love the Devil. Let's just say that. He's great. His ring work, his promos, everything. Perfect heel. This buddy stuff kind of seems a little fake, but I know they're having an angle with it and they're working the storyline out, which is really good because they're like the one that really has a real storyline going on. Mm-hmm. But they won the titles, and I thought that was just a great match altogether.
Yeah.
Then they went to Hook versus Jack Perry. And I know some people made some comments. I heard the commentators make some comments about the limousine when it came in. But if you're going to beat up a limousine, obviously you're going to get an older limousine than a newer one. You know what I mean?
Right. I know, right?
That's just my opinion. And the match itself wasn't too bad. There were some good spots.
I like the German suplex for 2-spot. That made me happy. The windshield break on the limo was pretty dope. Perry teasing the coast to coast and then hopping down and giving the crowd the double bird was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. Hook using a trash can was pretty dope. So, and the match had its moments. So,
the match definitely had its moments, and I'll have to agree that I was happy that Hook won the title back, just because who Jack Perry has the right to retire what?
I know, right? Like, come on, bro. Like, who are you? Like, stop it.
It kind of seems like the crowd's kind of taken to him as a heel, but I don't know. I still look at him as Jungle Boy. I don't know why. I still do.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it was time for him to progress from Jungle Boy anyway. Like, it was just time,
Well, and before we get into All In, and you already know what the first match of All In was because everyone already had rumors about it today. It was Jack Perry was leaving, and CM Punk was coming in.
Oh my God.
And we all heard that there was an altercation. I don't know if it was a physical altercation.
They said it was a shoot fight in the back, is what I've heard. I haven't really got all the news just yet, but from what I've been told, it was a shoot fight in the back right before Punk came out. So I'm really interested in knowing what the details were. I know more details are going to come out in the next 24 to 48 hours, and then it's going to be awesome. So now, rumor has it that Miro is disputing the fact that there is an altercation. So, I mean, it sounds like there was a disagreement about the use of the glass in the pre-tape spot from July. And I guess apparently CM Punk had said it's glass, cry me a river, and then there was a physical altercation, and then they were broken up by everybody in the back. And Tony Khan didn't mention specifics, but they are investigating a backstage incident that occurred right before the pay-per-view. So there's definitely going to be some fallout from that, and I don't know how much we're going to hear about it, but.
Wow.
Right. That's what I'm like, God.
I mean, and so that, oh my gosh, with the backstage incidences and everything now still happening with CM Punk, and we don't know if Punk is the one instigating them. We don't know anything about it. We're not back there. But it just kind of seems like, whoa, this is becoming a pattern. Because just a couple weeks ago, there was words with Adam Page, right?
Yeah.
And I think Adam Page is worthless myself, but
I'm dead.
Yeah, there was something about that.
I'm
so,
dead.
I don't know. We'll find out more we'll find out more within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, like there's gonna be plenty to talk about. I can't wait. I'm pretty excited. So I love the drama. It makes for good TV too. So.
Yeah, so let's get into the Samoa Joe and CM Punk match. What I'll have to say, what I did like about that is it started off really good. It was a really good build to the match. They know how to build a match with each other. They've been doing it for years.
It's a classic rivalry, you feel me? It is really a classic,
So they're circling each other, they break away, they lock up, they get into a corner. He gets those dirty chops on him. Punk is smiling at Joe. Instead of having usually that dead stare.
Mm-hmm.
Punk finally ducks the chop. He gets Samoa Joe scoops him up, gives him the back suplex, puts him in the headlock. What I thought was the greatest part, though, is when they were on the outside. He says that he puts his hand and pretty much calls everybody, walks away from CM Punk and makes the symbol for a wanker.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I really enjoyed
that. That was great. And then he kicked him, gave him the boot, and then he got everybody to go, ole, 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 which I thought was great, too.
Yeah.
CM Punk ended up winning the match, though, and it was a good match all the way around. I'll have to say that much. And it was, some people thought Pepsi Phil shouldn't have won, but hey, 80 in front of 80,000 people, CM Punk still won,
Yeah, he did. He kind of pulled a Hulk Hogan in the match. He also pulled a John Cena type of comeback, and then he squeezed in a Terry Funk tribute, and he's busted open. Pretty good contest overall. I give it a solid B+. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. So.
Exactly. I thought it was a great match. Then we go to the next match with, oh gosh, Adam Page. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm dead.
And then they got the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kyoto Ibisha. Is that how you say that?
Wait, say that again.
I don't even know. It's Coda something. We'll just call him Coda.
I'm weak.
And then we had Bullet Club, and then we got Bullet Club Gold, which is Jay White, Rock Hard Juice, and Takeshita. Because, Don Callis is in like, what, 3 or 4 feuds now?
Yeah. What's funny about this match? There's a part where Jim Ross is like, I have no idea who the legal men are, do you? And I was like, that sounds about right for AEW officiating correctly.
Exactly, and we'll say this much: their structure, especially when certain people come around, is just really, really, really messed up. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell us about the finish and what you thought about it?
It was an entertaining match. Takeshita shockingly pinned Kenny Omega. It was kind of a flat finish. And then, the crowd kind of just went silent after that. It was just like all the air was sucked out of the building when Kenny Omega's shoulders were pinned to the mat. I thought it was a good way to end the match. Definitely something that I wasn't truly expecting. I would give the match a solid B.
I'll have to give that match a B plus. I liked how it finished. I liked Takeshita. I like Juice Robinson. I like Jay White. I think Juice has a lot of charisma when he cuts promos. Then we get into the
FTR
Flower and the Flower Boys.
It was a good match, though. I really enjoyed the match. There was a fight forever chance. There were multiple finishers. There was a weird spot, though, where Dax took too long to break up the pinfall after the BTE trigger. And then you could see Nick Jackson pull Cash's arm as if he had kicked out. I thought that was a little bit weird. Somebody definitely missed their cue right there. After the match, though, it ended with the Shatter Machine, and they offered the handshake, and the Young Bucks declined, which is typical Young Buck behavior. I still enjoyed the match.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I would give the match a solid A, so I really enjoyed it.
I'll give that match a B plus too, but I will say I was surprised that they didn't give the belts to themselves in Wembley. As all three EVPs did not win any of the matches that they were in, I'll have to give them some credit on that.
Yeah, it's very true. So, I guess our next matchup would be Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, Kingston, Penta, L0, M, and Ortiz beating
the Pudding Twins.
Yes,
the Pudding Twins.
The Pudding Twins. Sorry.
That was the Stadium Stampede was just a crazy match. When Moxley went with the skewers and was gonna go put him in Penta, and then Penta reversed it and stuck him in his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Was just some great stuff right there.
I love how Mox no-sold the barbed wire bat shot from Trent, and I was like, yeah, okay. So we're no-selling baseball bats now.
It's the Pudding Twins.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's just a point.
They can't hurt nothing. They're full of pudding.
And then Sue drives her van into Wembley Stadium, and the fans start chanting Sue, and Tony Schiavone even popped for her, and I'm like, oh my god, and there was a cookie sheet filled with cookies, and I was just like, oh my god, what is going on here? I was so confused, so.
Oh yeah, and then he sets up Santana on the table. He climbs up the ladder, and then they start fighting at the top of the ladder until it gives out under pressure. and then
he hit the Canadian Destroyer through the table, so it was kind of lit though.
Yeah, it's kind of useful. Yuta, stupid useless with the screwdriver, but he gets it stuck in the turnbuckle because he's useless.
I'm dead. He said he gets it stuck in a turnbuckle because he's useless. I'm freaking dead.
He did. He was like, what the heck are you doing there? He got it stuck, and yeah. So that's what happened, and then, so it looks like they got the win in a pinfall and a glass-coated orange punch from Orange Cassidy on Castagnoli. And that's how they got the 1, 2, 3.
That was dope. So I like the finish. I give the match probably a B. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought the finish and everything too. I even popped myself for Sue. I'm not gonna lie to you. So.
So did I. I just didn't. I just don't.
I didn't get it, but I still popped. Like, oh my God, she's in the van. Like. So.
But this next one was amazing. The women's AEW World Title match was really. It was good all the way around from the beginning to the end. And I mean, there were so many highlights in that match. And I mean, so many highlights that they're hard to even keep down. Like, they're hard in these notes to keep reading. I'm sorry to say that. But I'll tell you guys about the finish. We'll just talk about the finish because the finish, I love the finish.
Yeah.
So you got Britt Baker having Hiroshita in getting ready to put the mandible claw back in the mouth, how she always has her laid back. I can't remember what she calls her finishing submission. But Saraya comes in, sprays Tony Storm in the face with the spray paint, hits her with the finisher, and gets the 1, 2, 3 to become the new AEW Women's Championship.
Yeah,
champion.
I'm pretty excited about that. I'm glad she won it. She definitely deserved. You deserve it. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that, and then we all knew that the Outcasts were going to end up breaking up because you can't have two of the same people from the same clique that want the exact same thing. And then when they both double covered Britt Baker, Saraya told her, we talked about this. So it seemed like she got mad. It seemed like Toni Storm felt like she should have won over either of them. And then when Ruby ran out, and then quickly the brawl ensued with those two, the Outcasts pretty much fell apart right there.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that match. I enjoyed seeing Saraya win, especially in front of her fellow countrymen, and that was pretty awesome. So, and her comeback, her comeback is complete, and she's now the man, as we like to say. So.
And Dave Metzler, the way that you actually rate these matches is that would be a 4.5 on this one, just because there was a lot of good highlights, and they took some stuff to a really good place with the style of wrestling that they were using.
Yeah, it was awesome. So,
and then we get into the coffin match, which I think I caught the end of the coffin match because I do remember the finish before I went back and seen the highlights again. It's Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland versus Darby Allin and Sting in a coffin match. The match starts off quick.
Where's the Undertaker?
It starts off really good.
Where's the Undertaker? No, this one.
Sting, it was like a no hold bar. It was great. It was from top to bottom. Again, it was great because I love Sting all the way around. His old crazy ass dropping a leg. I can't remember if it was on Swerve.
It was on Swerve.
Christian Cage, but it went through the table.
It was on Swerve, and then Tony Schiavone almost, had a moment on the on the commentary. It was hilarious.
Well, then Nick Wayne comes out. It starts getting ready to get into it, and Luchasaurus comes out. Or no, Luchasaurus came out and chokeslammed. And then Nick Wayne hits him in the back with the skateboard, and he's like, what the hell? Turns around, picks up Nick Wayne, and chokeslams him right onto the skateboard.
That was dope. I really enjoyed that. I'm not going to lie. I marked out for that a little bit. It made me happy.
No, so did I. And then the way they try to get... first, it was... Who was the first one that tried to get into... They tried to put in the coffin there.
Swerve tried to put Sting into the coffin, and then he kept the coffin open with the bat.
Yeah, I remember that part. I thought somebody got tried to get put in before.
Darby Allin tried to do the coffin
Yeah,
drop,
it
but
was
he landed
Allin.
on the
Yeah.
coffin. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was. They tried to put him in. They got out. Then they got Sting. And then the way that they finished the match on Swerve Strickland hanging out halfways with the coffin drop from Darby Allin. His body gets crushed pretty much in between casket and gets pretty much pushed back in, and match won. Oh yeah, I forgot to bring up that 450 splash that Swerve missed.
Yeah.
Or that Sting moved and he hit the coffin. That was brutal. And then the stomps the stomps to Christian onto the chair from the chair. That was brutal.
Yeah, it sure was.
But Sting's still showing that he still got it, and
which is crazy because he's so, I hate to say old, but gosh, I mean, in 4 years you'll be 70, my G. Like goodness, but you still.
Oh, I know.
Crazy.
And here was your match of the night, so I'll let you talk about
Oh my
this
God,
one. This
Will
was
Ospreay.
Jericho versus Ospreay.
Jericho performed Judas first time all night. AEW used their LED tunnel, which had the demo god graphics. It looked awesome. The match wasn't as long as I thought it was going to be. It was about 10 or 15 minutes, but they got a lot of spots in. Jericho shows that he can still go and do his thing, even into his 50s. I'm still impressed with his work. And his ability to continue to evolve and be a complete showman, as I like to say. Will Ospreay does get the win here in this match, which I'm more impressed with his work as time goes on. He is the current IWGP United States champion, and he showed that tonight. After the match, Sammy Guevara consoles Jericho, who pushes him away and storms off, and then the record attendance is announced by Nigel McGuinness of 81,035, which I thought was really impressive. And yeah, man, I give that fucking match a solid A. I really enjoyed it. Anything with Chris Jericho in it, I'm partial to, especially because I've been watching Chris Jericho since his early work in WCW, his ECW run. I've always enjoyed his work, and last night was flipping awesome. So.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of good spots. The Frankensteiner off the top rope.
Oh, that was so good.
There was just too many good spots on that, and I'm glad that Offspring won with the Stormbreaker. And I'd have to rate that match definitely 4-star, 4.5 stars. That was definitely a very, very good match. And I can't wait to see Will Ospreay either in AEW or in WWE. We'll see who he chooses here in 6 months. And this was my match. I was so happy to see. I've been a Acclaim fan since AEW started, and I'm glad Daddy Ass came back as Badass Billy Gunn for this show. One night only, pretty much. House of Black, the way that they came out with all the white and pretty much having all the fireflies in the crowd and them holding the lantern, holding it up and then setting it down. That was an amazing thing for the character Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. That was really, really awesome, I thought. That match was no holds barred. That was what the challengers picked. Max Caster and them start the moonsaulting. Matthews starts doing backflips. Bowen starts jumping through the apron. Malachi's off the apron. Everybody's diving. Billy Gunn's diving. Brody King dives through the ropes. And that's a big dude, that Brody King. A very, very big guy. And then it was just a great match all the way around. The Acclaimed ended up winning with it. It was, if I remember the finish right, is off the top of my head. Yeah, it was, they all hit the finishers on Brody King. They got the Famouser, the body slam, then the mic drop, and then the 1, 2, 3 with the Billy gun. And I was really happy for the match. It was really nice. And then at the very end of the match, House of Black were holding the titles, and everyone's like, you don't think they're going to give over the titles? You don't think they're going to hand over the titles? And they handed them over to Billy Gunn and Dan and shook their hands.
Yeah, that was pretty good. They also showed Mercedes Moné in that match. She got a huge pop from the crowd. And everybody still got love for Sasha Banks. Whether you call her Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, they got love for her. She got a huge pop right in the middle of that. And I thought that was pretty cool, too. So, see her face. I've always been partial to Sasha Banks. I understand why she left. We should get into that deep dive here about that whole situation on one of these shows coming up, because that was a very interesting situation when she departed WWE not too long ago, so I'd love to talk about that.
Oh yeah, and I still love at the very end of the match when Owens grabbed the mic and said, "We told Billy he'd be back at the top. He deserves this gold around his waist. And now that he's had it, even though he came here as the badass, we promised Wembley a big scissor party. So he said, 'It's time, Daddy Ass. Would you scissor me, Daddy Ass?'" And that was really a good match. And then the main event was spectacular.
Yeah, my boy. Maxwell
Adam Cole
Freeman.
and MJF.
Yes. Oh, my God. I love this.
MJF's entrance was definitely WrestleMania worthy.
Yes, indeed.
And the only reason why I say WrestleMania is because that was the only one that was big compared to the biggest show that they had at Wembley Stadium tonight, or this morning for us. And that match was let's just say it was really good. They shook hands in the very beginning to show their sportsmanship because they're friends. The match built up perfectly. There were so many top rope moves. When they did the double clothesline on each other, there were so many 2 counts in the match, which was nice. And then they got close to the end, and that's when it started getting crazy. So I give it to the referee. He took a Panama Sunrise from Adam Cole, and that's what laid out the ref. And while the ref was laid out, the jealous best friend, we'll call him the jealous best friend.
Yeah.
He came out, kicked MJF in the nuts. He got up and did another Panama Sunrise and laid him down, or a Canadian Destroyer, however you want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Put down MJF, hit him in the back of the head with the knee. He got the 1, 2, the long 2 count, and then went for something else. MJF was going to pull the ring out, but he decided not to pull the ring out. And then he had a quick roll up on Adam Cole, and it was a 1, 2, 3. Great match, horrible ending.
Yeah,
and one of the best parts, I'll tell you one of my favorite parts, and I forgot to mention this part, is when MJF was gonna pile drive Adam Cole onto a table, and he was like, no, so he dropped Adam Cole down. Adam Cole got back up, kicked him, and gave him a pile driver through the table.
Right, I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that as well. I really enjoyed this match. I'll give it a solid 8. It was definitely the best match of the night, and it closed out the show. I really enjoyed it. They're going to do it all in 2 at Wembley Stadium in 2024. I really liked the ending of the show too.
Yeah, the post-match stuff was amazing.
The post-match stuff was really awesome too. I really had a good time watching all that. The referee bump, MJF with the Eddie Guerrero tribute by wrapping a chair around his head. Cole accidentally hitting Bryce Reinsberg with the Panama Sunrise, and that was really awesome. So I loved the show. It was great. It was a WrestleMania level show. AEW really put their foot in this one. And a lot of people doubted they were even going to be able to sell the tickets to even have this show. I didn't doubt them. London's hungry for wrestling, especially after John Cena mentioned that they should have a WrestleMania in London. I think it is time for that to happen. They're definitely hungry for wrestling. They showed that they're hungry for it, and it's about time to run shows over there. So.
Oh, definitely. And then the post-match stuff, they had the crowd going because, Adam was sitting there in the corner and MJF came up to him and told him, "They love you, Adam, they love you." And he got the crowd to cheer for him. And he goes, you know what? And he grabbed the ROH tag team titles and gave them to Adam, and Adam threw them away. Then he told Adam, "Oh, here's the belt. Is this what you really want? This is what you really want? I don't give a shit." And he gave it to him. And he thought he was going to get hit in the back of the head with it, but didn't. And then they turned around and hugged it out and were best friends. I know a lot of people were looking for one of them to turn on each other, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't, because it just made it that much more interesting for the future.
It wasn't a typical wrestling ending where someone betrayed the other. It was something unexpected, a swerve, and I enjoyed that part of it too. So, good work by AEW tonight. We can't wait to get more information about the CM Punk Jack Perry situation and update you on that as soon as we can. Tomorrow is Monday. What is Monday? The 29th already? No, it's the 28th. Monday Night Raw, we'll be talking about. Probably the day after. We'll be getting into the Monday Night Raw deep dive. And it's been quite the weekend for wrestling. Quite the weekend.
Yeah. It's been a really crazy week for wrestling. I've been enjoying everything except for the passing away of everybody. But we strive through it, and it was a great show. I thought All In was amazing, especially the MJF Adam Cole match, my favorite match of the night. Second match would still have to probably be the women's title. Just loved how they finished it. That's pretty much it on that note. Remember, we do got Slave to the Death match coming up again. September 16th and 17th. Go to my ticket, get your tickets. It's in Denver, Colorado. So that's pretty much it on my end. Thank you guys for tuning in to STW. Thank you for listening to Slave to Wrestling. Devin, you got anything that you want to add?
Man, this is Devin Alexander. You know how it is. Tune into the Devin the Blessing Show anywhere you can find a podcast. Make sure you check out the hip-hop side of my life. Also, don't forget Dirty Dan is performing at Gorefest at the Roxy in Denver on September 8th. And like the Tribal Chief just said, don't forget to get your tickets for Slaves to the Death match September 16th and 17th at the Roxy here in Denver, Colorado. And we'll be signing off from here and chit-chatting with you soon.
Acknowledge us.
Yeah. Hey, peace out, y'all.